Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard to the Tabletop Express. My name is Ryan, and I'm here today with Danielle. Hey, Danielle.
Hi, Ryan. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. This is so the spotlight is on you today because it is your top 20 2023 edition. So
Yes.
forget about any year. This is the year that matters for this video. I guess until next year's, but so yeah. Tell us about what it was like putting together this giant list of 20 games. Was it hard? Was it easy?
um, well, I used I think it's PubMeeple, the
Mm-hmm.
website, to kind of go through my collection, and it was a lot. It took a lot longer than I thought it would to go through all the games I've ever played, I guess.
Oh, you ranked every game you played?
Yeah,
Oh my
it
goodness,
took a
yeah.
long time,
Yeah, it does take a long time.
but it was worth it because I would say now I really know what my top 20 is. Like I had an idea of what my favorite games were, my
Yeah.
top games were, but comparing it side by side with each game that I've played, it really was pretty it was fun, but it took a while. So yeah,
Did
hopefully everyone appreciates my top 20.
yeah. Well, did you like at least know like, oh, this is probably going to be my number one? Or were there any surprises? I mean, we'll get to, I guess, some of those
Yeah, I think there were
surprises.
definitely some surprises on how it ended up ranking.
Yeah.
Although I definitely do love every single one of these games that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, like the ordering ended up being interesting, more interesting than I thought.
So
But
before we reveal number 20, is there any game that you want to mention that didn't make your list? Maybe it almost did, or
um I would say, well, this sticks out because I played it recently and only acquired it recently, but there's this game called Heading Forward, and I know you're
mm,
familiar with this
oh
one.
yeah,
And it's a solo game that I really, really like to play. It's got such an interesting theme, and you'll have to look it up, whoever's watching. It's called Heading Forward, and it's basically about someone who has like a traumatic brain injury, and you're trying to play cards as if you're this person trying to improve, I guess, your brain and making sure that you're recovering well enough. And it's got such an interesting mechanic to it, and it's a puzzle for sure. And I think I played it 3 times in a row, just right when I got it. And I love how it feels like a PNP, but I don't know if it was when I acquired it. I
yeah.
got it from a trade. Um,
Was it in like the yellow box?
yeah, but it kind of looked
Yeah.
like there was like a sticker on top. It wasn't like it didn't look polished, which is
Hmm.
okay because the game itself was very fun, and I don't
Yeah.
plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. But I would say, yeah, that's kind of like my honorable mention, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I'll likely talk about its spoilers in an upcoming video that we'll do about top games. But anyways, let's get to your number 20.
Sure. So my number 20 is Orchard. It's a 9 card solitaire game. And this was probably one of the first solo games that I got. And it's like a pocket size. It's very easy to carry around. And I just have it on my desk. So if I ever have like 15, 20 minutes or even less, 10 minutes to just play a game, I kind of just pull this out and set up the dice, the cards, and everything, and just play a game. And basically, you're trying to place the cards so that you can create, I guess, like a set of matching orchards, like trees, so that you
Mm-hmm.
can place dice on top of it. Um, and it's basically a beat your own score type of game. But it's interesting because there are challenges, like monthly challenges on BGG. So sometimes I try those out. So they tell you the sequence of the cards that you would pull because there's like tiny numbers on each of those cards so that you could,
Oh
figure
yeah, I
out.
see like a 17 and a 9.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody could come up with challenges and you could literally play exactly the way that somebody else has set it up and then see how well you do against all the other people who are also playing this game. Um, so yeah, this is definitely a fun one. I do often play this in the mornings right before work just to kind of get my brain going and wake me up a little bit.
Hmm.
This doesn't include any dice rolling, so don't be fooled by the dice.
I was wondering,
It's just a
yeah.
tracker. Yeah, you just use it to kind of track your points as you place the cards down.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, but it's
Cool.
a fun one. Yep.
This is so I saw when I was pulling this up, there's like multiple copies. Like there's like a self-published one. There was one I think on the Board Game Geek store. Like,
Oh, okay.
which version do you have?
The
Uh,
Amazon one.
okay, cool. Yeah.
The one that was on Amazon, I think. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I think this is definitely easy to make into a PNP. There's
Yeah.
definitely files available somewhere, I'm sure. Um, so yeah, definitely
Is
worth
this
checking out.
is this something you'd recommend like for a first-time solo player or
Yeah, I would say so.
yeah.
Let's see. I got it for my dad for I think either his birthday or Christmas. I'm not sure if he ever pulled it out, but it's like I think it's great for any age, honestly.
Nice.
The box does say 14 and up, but I think if you can think logically, and match patterns and colors, I think you're able to play this game with no issues.
All right. I'll have to try this out. Which I'm making a mental note. I'm gonna try to play as many of these as I haven't played yet because I'm excited about this list a lot. Like
Yeah, good
I was
luck.
putting it together, so I know what the numbers are, but I'm
Yes.
excited to hear you talk about each one. So cool.
Awesome. All right. So moving on to number 19, we have Hunted Kobayashi Tower.
Hmm.
So this is a game that I was surprised. I don't even know how I came across it. Maybe like in the Facebook group, I saw the art of the cards, and I like how it's like the main like backdrop of the card itself is like dark, it's black versus a typical white card. So that I was drawn to the art of this overall. And the box itself I really liked, which is not pictured here, but it has a similar theme to the cards. But basically, you're trying to save your you're trying to save your wife, and you're going through this tower trying to survive and not make any noise. And if you get to the top, you're able to save her. I think I've only won this game once, and I probably played wrong to get there.
Oh.
It's such a challenging game, but it's fun. It does come down to a lot of luck
Hmm.
and pushing your luck because of the dice rolling. And there's a deck that you see kind of to the right of the group of dice over there on the left, and basically you're flipping the cards over. And if you keep flipping and you get a certain amount of bells, meaning like you're creating a lot of sound, then the enemies or terrorists will end up hearing you and they attack you.
Hmm.
And then that's when you kind of use the weapons or items that you collect over the course of your game, to try to mitigate some of those attacks. And also there's like I forget what they call it, is like treachery or like events that might also hinder your journey as
Hmm.
well.
And
So
it's basically like Die Hard, right? Like the theme is the movie Die Hard, right? You're
oh,
going in.
possibly. I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with that movie.
Yeah. Cause in Die Hard does the same thing where he's trying to go into the office building that's being like held by terrorists, and he's trying to save his
Oh,
wife, and he's trying not to make a lot of noise.
okay.
Um,
Pretty much that's the
it
game.
looks like yeah, because I think there's another one in this series that's based off of like Aliens, the movie
Oh
Aliens.
yes, the mining colony
Yeah,
915. Yeah. So that's another one that I didn't like as much as this one, between like the two hunted that I have.
yeah.
That one is more dexterity driven, I believe.
Mm,
But yeah, this one's just purely just dice rolling, really.
I have to try this out. I saw it recently talked about too on the Discord, like it was on sale
Yes.
recently.
Yeah, yeah. And it's pretty affordable too, so
Yeah.
definitely worth checking out. And I like how like I'm all about games that take up as less like space as possible, like space
Hmm.
saving games, and this one doesn't take up too much space, which is good.
Nice.
Hmm.
And same question with Orchard. Is this easy? Is this a more approachable for a first time solo game, or is this a little bit more in depth?
Um Honestly, for this one it took me a bit to grasp
Mm,
how to play. For some reason I think it's mostly like what the cards do and how to use the cards to open into the next location deck. So there's a location deck on top, and then like there's the hunted deck in the middle.
mm,
Um, and just being able to know when to use cards when, I think, was confusing to me. But I would say, yeah, it's definitely on the lighter side
all right.
overall. Yeah.
I'll have to try that out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Hunted.
Yes.
What we got
All right.
next?
18 is Honey Buzz. So this one is a worker placement game, and it's beautiful. I'm not sure if all the versions have like the honey that is like it feels like rubberized almost.
Oh,
It's
cool.
not like plastic or like cardboard. And I really like the components overall. Even like the little bees are wooden and they feel really nice too. So everything about this game is visually pleasing. And that's like one big reason why I like this game, but also because it plays pretty well solo. There's a solo deck that comes with the game, and so you can play on your own against the AI, or you can also play against somebody else, of course. This is up to 4-player game, I think. But yeah, overall, I like worker placement games. So this one was pretty much a no-brainer for me. And the purpose of this game really is to build up your hive. So you see those little pieces on the topmost board.
Hmm.
You get to get some of those pieces depending on where you place your worker bee, and then you get to expand your hive. And then when you create a hex, I guess, with those two pieces, you get to reap like the benefits of each of those icons that you might see,
Mm.
creating that hex. So yeah, definitely do recommend this for solo. It might be more fun. I think I've maybe only played this one time with my husband, but I think it could be more exciting playing against people than the AI because it's just a little bit more competitive with
Yeah.
a real person. But yeah, I do recommend this one for sure.
I know. I think Barrows owns this one. I think
Does
Chris
he?
Barrows owns
Okay.
it. Yeah, I could borrow it off of him if he does.
Yeah. Or if we ever meet up, you can borrow it from
Oh
me.
yeah, duh. That's true.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I remember when this came out too. Yeah, it was 2020 and this came out.
Yeah, I mean, not
Um,
too long ago, but I mean, so many games have come out since then too. It's crazy how many
I
games
might be
come out.
thinking of Bees, right? There's another
Bees?
game called Bees with a Z. I think it
Okay.
was around the same
I've
time
never
as
heard
Honey
that.
Buzz. But
Got it.
Honey
Okay.
Buzz, I've heard a lot of good things about.
Yeah, yeah, and they have expansions to it, I think now, which
Mm.
I don't have any of it yet, but I think there's like a fall or autumn one where it introduces just a different board and some additional gameplay. So definitely that's on my wish list, hoping to get something for that in the trade or something eventually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Honey Buzz,
Hmm.
number
All right.
17. I'm
Number
excited.
17, Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Okay.
So this was a game that I played all the time. This was in 2020 when I first had my son and I was on maternity leave. So in between my son's naps, I would literally play this game like all the time. I was obsessed. And so this is a basically a dice rolling game. It does come with an AI basically that can roll dice, and then you basically have to try to beat it. It's just a score based on your scores. So you're trying to collect different, I think it's planets.
Hmm.
Not sure what the rule book calls it. Yeah, I think it is planets. So you have your colony, and then you have planets that you try to acquire, and then you might also gain some new abilities on the way. Um, but yeah, in this picture, I was playing with my sister. I had just taught her how to play, and she really enjoyed it as well. Another thing I love about like the Tiny Epic games is that the boxes are beautiful, and in this case, in this game, I think you would just use it as a dice tray, really,
Hmm.
because it works well uh, that way for me
Yeah.
at least. And then I think even on the box itself on the other side, I forget, maybe the rules are on it, I forget, but I just really like the overall production of the game too.
Yeah, I never tried any of the Tiny Epic games. Is this? How about you? Have you tried any of the other ones? 'Cause I know there's like a whole series
Yeah.
of them.
I tried Tiny Epic Dungeons,
Hmm.
and I didn't really like that one.
Yeah.
And then I also tried a Tiny Epic. Is it Tactics?
I think there's one. Yeah, I think it's Tiny Epic Tactics is one of
Yeah,
them.
and that one was just a little too much for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure that one out or play it well enough solo. So I ended up, I think, trading those two away. But this one will always stay with.
This is the one I always hear about too. Like
Yeah,
when
there's
people
like the
mention it.
classic Tiny Epic, and there's even like an ultra version of this where it's like even smaller than this box. And this box, I would say, is pretty portable already.
Yeah.
But there's like an even smaller version of it, which is pretty neat.
Have you tried that one?
No,
Yeah,
it would be nice. But I already have this one, so
I get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Tiny Epic Galaxies. I definitely want to try that one out at some point because I never done any of the Tiny Epic games, so I feel like that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely, and it's definitely like a lighter game compared to the other Tiny Epic. I also tried the zombie one.
Oh
Have you guys had
yeah.
the zombies? That was interesting. It reminds me a lot of like Final Girl type of game where
Oh
you're
okay.
traveling between rooms trying to, survive basically.
Yeah.
And that one I liked, but ended up fading away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There's a lot of games out. It's not in the top 20 then.
It is not. Nope. Yeah, that's actually my Tiny Epic Alice is the only Tiny Epic in this list.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Um, moving on, we have Super Mega Lucky Box. So this
Awesome.
one is solo friendly, but I do prefer to play it with friends and family. And this was such an easy teach. Like basically, if you know how to play like games like bingo, you pretty much know how to play this one because you're flipping a card and you check your three boxes or however many lucky boxes you have in front of you for a number and you just cross it off. But obviously there are benefits to how or where you cross off that number. And basically, if you end up filling up all the boxes for a column or a row, you typically have a reward. That might give you another number that you could cross off. It could give you lightning bolts, which could give you the ability to modify that number that you flip over um, by as many, I guess, numbers or values based off of how many lightning bolts you want to use. Or it
Mm.
could be called energy. I forget if it's lightning or energy. But the other pieces in there are the moon. It's the blue tokens in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And that also gives you bonus points. If you have the most moons at the end of the round, you get a bonus. You get bonus points. So this is another point-based game. You're trying to get the most points by the end of the game, and I think there's 4 rounds to it, and it goes by pretty quick as long as people can make their decisions pretty pretty fast. It depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, take a while. They overthink, which is fine. But yeah, this is one of those like I don't even know if I would consider it a party game because you're not really talking much. It's just you flip over the number and you try to do the best you can with those numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you played this one?
I have. I played, well, not in person yet. I played on Board
Mhm.
Game Arena,
Oh right,
and
yes, yes.
it was a good implementation. I knew going in it was going to be a very. I mean, the game is called Super Mega Lucky Box, so
Yeah,
it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a box of luck.
yeah.
you know. But going in with that mindset, like that bingo mindset, it does a pretty good job. You know. And
Hmm.
that one, I know it's a Philip Walker Harding design, so I was really excited to try it out too.
Okay,
Because he does a good job with making like approachable style games like Barren Park and all that.
okay, good to
But
know.
yeah, this is a good one. I was excited to see this one on the list too.
Yeah, and I also like that it's like a dry erase. Like there's really no
Hmm.
waste to this game. You just pull it out, you play, and then you dry erase everything.
How many people can you play this with?
It's up to 6 people.
Okay,
Yeah, so
nice.
there's enough cards to play for 6. I think if there were ever expansions, you could probably play with more. It's just you have to get more cards probably.
Yeah.
I think it's really just a matter of making sure you have enough boxes for each round is all.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. All right. So moving along, we have Coffee Roaster. So this
Oh
is
yeah.
a solo only game and also probably one of the first 5 games I played solo. I'm a big coffee person. I drink coffee every day. And so this was basically a no brainer for me to get and try out. This is a super thinky one. So you're basically trying to build your bag of coffee beans and try to roast them and create the best cup by the end of the game. So very on theme with the coffee. You see on the right side in the picture, that's kind of your mug that you end up using to score, and you're trying to score based off of I guess like so the game comes with cards that tells you where you want to score, and it's not always the highest score. That may not always be the case. You may want to try to get it within like a 10 to 12 as your points. So that's really the puzzle there, is just making sure you didn't overdo it. by the end of the game, or making sure that you end up not getting too small of a point for your mug. But yeah, this one's a bag building game. And yeah,
I've played it.
yeah, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I've played it a bunch. And the thing is, I, I'm in the same boat as you, where I bought it because I knew it was really good at solo.
Yeah.
It's like it's a solo only design, and it was raved about for a while, like on Dice Tower, and then they finally came to America, where, because it was a Japanese design, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And it finally came to America through Stronghold Games, so I was very excited to try it. The production level's great. Like it has like the little insert with all the beans, because every time you leave a bean out, your beans are going to upgrade a one bean level. So a level one bean, right, could turn
Yes,
to a level
that's right.
two, right, and then eventually like it goes all the way up to level four, and then if you go beyond level four, it busts. And not only that, I'm trying to pull it up. I love the thematic portion of it, because I even wrote it down in my BG stats, like each play, like what beans did I end up roasting. Man, where is it? I
Oh,
have it
really? You track
somewhere.
it down to the beans. That's interesting.
Yeah, right. So, man, where it's over here? Here? Man, where is it? Is it under roll set? I put it somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I see. Like I put like
Game
the Sao
notes.
Paulo one and the Kilimanjaro. Because you level up, or like you start with a specific like light roast, then you go
Yeah.
to a medium roast depending on your score, and then a dark roast. Um, and yeah, it's all about that min max of trying to get within that range.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did like it. I think it went a little long for me, but
I
I
can see
do,
that. Yeah.
I do enjoy it. And you have to. I mean, if you drink coffee, it goes great with coffee,
It
like
does.
for sure. I think every time I play this, I've always had a cup of coffee with it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I feel like I saw someone play this game on YouTube, and instead of like using the bag, they put their little tokens, the beans in the coffee cup, and I thought that was so smart. Like
Yeah, yeah,
if they ever like redid this game, they should do like a collectible mug or something.
that would be cool. You know, like a
Yeah.
little coffee roaster mug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's dripping with theme, right?
Good one.
And then there's the flavor tokens too, right? Because those flavor
Oh yeah.
tokens, you could either use them, because some recipes require flavor tokens, and the flavor tokens
Hmm.
can also be used for special effects, like trading out some of your beans that you drew and putting them back in your bag. Because you're kind of always mitigating your bag, so there's a
Yeah.
lot of control with that bag.
Mhm.
But the longer you take, the more smoke will get added, right? In like the level 10 and 12.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that you can also decide to end the game whenever you want.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
there's no set amount of rounds. Like there's a max amount of rounds really, but you could end the game early if you think you've reached that point.
Right.
Um, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's like that little tracker too to help you out.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I feel like in my early plays I just forget to use the tracker, and I'm
I
like,
have
ah,
forgotten as well.
yeah, because you can't look in the bag. That's why the
Yeah.
tracker's there. But if you're not maintaining the tracker, then you're just gonna forget. So
Hmm. Yeah, my first few plays I barely used the tracker at all, but when I was getting more serious about winning, that's when I used
yeah, yeah. But that yeah, this is one. You know, like I I would recommend this one too for if you're trying solo games out. I know why a lot of
it.
people like it. I mean, I like it. I just didn't like it enough to hold on to it. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but I still understand like for sure, and I like the determining like the trade-offs of use, get rid of flavor tokens for special powers, but you're gonna need flavor tokens for your brew, because at the end you're just blind drawing from a bag, and you're just hoping for your best bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Coffee
Yep.
roaster. That's a good one.
Hmm. All right. And then next I have Dwellings of Eldervale.
Hmm.
So this is probably, I mean, to most people, this may not be too heavy of a game, but this is one of the more heavier games that I would play. Um, and this one, I don't even know where to start. There's a lot that goes on with it. There's dice rolling, which I love, and mostly that's during the combat
Hmm.
phases. But there's also like a map, kind of like it feels it's a dungeon crawler, I would say. And there's hexes that you place out. and monsters show up, and then if you're there or in the vicinity, you might have to attack that monster. And basically, you're just trying to survive and create as many dwellings as you can. And it's also a pretty competitive game if you play with somebody else. And what else? It is solo friendly, of course. So I have played this solo and with another person as well. And just lots of fun because you're also trying to buy cards. There's cards involved. You can see here like the miniatures, they're on like the sound basis. So the version I got, I think it was the legendary version, came with like sound bases. So whenever you lifted them up and placed them in a new spot, it made a sound. You
Did
had to
that
be a
get
little bit
tiresome?
aggressive.
Or was it still just cool the entire time? I can see it
I
going two ways.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
We barely really used it. Like we just had it on like
Yeah.
as a pedestal, really. And then like to actually make the sound, you had to put it down pretty aggressively, I thought. So
You know, I've only played this one once. I played it at 2 players and I played it online. And I think it was fine. I mean, it's very similar to with a lot of Luke Laurie kind of designs of you place your workers out and then you do a special action when you bring all your people back.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
because he does that a lot in his games, like Whistle Mountain. He does that a lot in. He did it in Manhattan Project Energy Empire. I think Cryo does the same thing too. I want to try it again for sure because I like the aesthetic too of when you put the worker out on the board to claim the dwelling, you put the roof on top of their head.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I
actually
like
pretty
that too.
funny.
Yeah.
But the one thing that really detracted me was the combat. I felt it was very random, because you just roll a number of dice,
You do. Yeah.
and then based on like I've had situations where I took out like a monster which is like one worker, which like it shouldn't be that way, but
Yeah.
it was. Or you go out with bringing everyone you got, and you're just bad dice rolls. Just that's what it is. Just bad dice rolls.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And there's not too much you can do about those dice rolls. I think there could be some cards that could do something, but for the most part, you're just rolling your dice and comparing it with the values of the person you're fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall for a game of this, I don't know, I guess value, it's not a cheap game.
No, but the production level is top notch.
Exactly. That's why you get like those nice trays, everything's pretty organized. And I thought the value of the production was there for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to give it another shot. I wonder how it is at like higher player counts too,
It probably, like, I would say probably the more the merrier in this one. I know
because the map gets bigger too, right?
It does.
Right?
Yeah, so the number of tiles you use, I think, increases.
Yeah.
With the more players and stuff. But I also like the fact that when you have more players, you get to see like the unique factions.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the same like abilities. Like depending on the faction you choose, you have your unique abilities that you can use to your advantage.
Right. Yeah, everyone has like the same figures, but all the abilities are different. Yeah. I do remember that. Man, I kind of want to see though with the sound effect thing. I'm just imagining like like those Hallmark cards you open and then you hear like the song
Something
go
like
off,
that.
right?
Yeah, and it's not the most like crisp sound either. It sounds pretty muffled too, but it's pretty neat.
That's
when
right.
my son gets older, I think he'll probably appreciate it.
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with a toy factor, okay?
Sure.
I think that this game kind of speaks to that too. If you like component heavy kind of thing where you want to just play with the toys, like it works out. It definitely works out. I mean, yeah, you were saying it's not cheap, but it's like in the $300 range, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah. I think for like this current wave that they're doing, because they do printing waves.
Yeah.
They changed up some of the way things are sold. Like some of the, I guess, more upgraded features of the game are maybe sold separately now.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but yeah, it might be more affordable now. But yeah, if you're interested in this game, definitely always keep yourself posted on their website. They send out newsletters and stuff on upcoming printings if you missed out on it.
Have you looked at Andromeda's Edge? Because I know that's like the
I
sequel
have.
to this.
I have looked into it, mostly on like watching YouTube playthroughs, and it looks like a massive game.
Yeah.
It looks good. I like space themed games in general, so I might have to check it out. But I would say like anything that takes up my entire table probably won't make it on my shelf, and that one looks
Yeah.
a little daunting.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly they say that they fixed the combat in Andromeda's Edge.
Oh, with the
So it
dice rolling.
yeah, I don't know how they fixed it, but
Yeah.
the what I've been hearing is that they've made changes to that. Because that was the one thing like I when I heard about Andromeda's Edge, I was like, okay, well, I mean, did they are they going to address this issue? And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, cool. I definitely yeah, I should give that another shot. I know a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
Um,
And you said you played online. Was it on like TTS?
yeah, and Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
have to do
you
that.
know, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like that kind of game you want to play with the toys and stomp them around, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dwellings of Eldervale.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So next I have Wingspan.
All right.
Um, so this was definitely in the top 5 during my maternity leave that I learned this game. I fell in love with playing against an automa. With this game, it's a beautiful game, as you can see from that playmat. It's
Hmm.
gorgeous. This one has the duet mode in pictured. So on the top right, that's like the duet mode
Hmm.
map, I guess. But yeah, it's lots of fun. The expansions I have all of them, and they definitely enhance the game a ton. And I've played this. It looks like 43 times so
Oh my
far,
goodness.
and it never gets old. Like there's just too many birds that you can draw in the huge draw deck, and the components are really nice. Like the dice, they're really light and they feel airy almost, and I actually really like that because compared to like other dice that I have that are like heavier, these just feel so pleasant to roll for some
Yeah.
reason, even though they feel very very light and hollow almost. And then the eggs, of course, which I'm not sure if it's not even in this picture, but the eggs look beautiful.
Yeah.
So you have to Google that to take a look. But yeah, those are nice too. But yeah, this one is a pretty fun game. You have to, I would say it's like a set collection, or
Hmm.
I forget what the mechanic might
Yeah,
be.
it's like
But you're
a
trying to
set
collect birds.
collection, tableau building kind of mamma jamma.
Yeah, exactly. And you're trying to gain resources so that you can feed the birds and get them onto your board, and then you could get more resources or more cards out of those. And it's basically an engine building game for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is engine building. Yeah, I remember when this came out, it was just like everywhere. Like Wingspan was like, yeah, you guys, you got to play Wingspan. You got to play Wingspan. You know?
Yeah. It's surprisingly though, among my friends who also play board games, they've never played this game, and I'm really waiting for the day that I can show them this.
Mm,
I don't know why. I feel like it's so I'm not the best teacher, so I really need to make sure I feel patient enough to explain all about the game, and probably just take out all the expansions and just have the base game for them, because I would say it's not the easiest
yeah.
game to pick up, but I mean it's easy enough compared to like all the other really hard games out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't introduce someone with to like engine building with Wingspan. You know, there's
Yeah.
other engine builders I feel like are more approachable. But it is something like if someone wants to get into the hobby and likes that kind of engine building aspect, I think they should try it at least once for sure. You know, because yeah, you have the expansion stuff here. Some of the stuff I haven't
Mhm.
even seen before because
Yeah.
I only played the base game.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
honestly, the base game is all you need.
yeah,
The replayability for me with just the base game before I got all the expansions was just through the roof. Like I could probably play for decades. Just
yeah, and I know like I know Elizabeth Hargrave did a lot of like work with the cards. I was listening to an episode that she did of Ludology, and she had like spreadsheets of just like all the different cards and like the combinations and stuff.
yeah, I could imagine.
Because every card is a totally unique bird, and and
Yep.
plays totally different. You know. Well, I mean, there's some similarities across cards for sure, but
Mhm.
they all do different things. They have little bird facts like their wingspan, I guess, because the name of the game.
Yeah, yeah. I also like the fact that stat comes into play at times where
Mm-hmm.
like it says if you have a bird or you draw a card and that bird has like a wingspan less than 100, you could tuck it under this card like
Yeah.
so yeah, very very cool.
You know,
Just
I was wondering too, because right, the those point cards, they tell you like what bonus points you'll get based off of what comes out. But
yep.
it also doesn't it tell you like the percentage of the number of cards in that
With
deck?
that, yes. Yeah, the
Does that
bonus cards kind of give you an idea of how
yeah.
likely you might draw a card or come across a card with that characteristic, I guess.
Is that reflective in the expansions? Like
It gets
uh,
updated.
oh, okay.
So you replace those bonus cards with the new ones, I think.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Or
Yeah.
they do it in a way that the percentage won't change.
Right.
I think.
Man, that must be a challenge, you know. But
Yeah.
there's apparently, so many birds out there that I guess it'll work.
Oh yeah. And then like they're, with the different expansions for sure. Like European was a big one.
Hmm.
The most recent one was not the most recent. Well, there was Oceania as well. And
Hmm.
then the Asia one, yeah, was the
Yeah.
most recent. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wingspan. Cool. We got 12 more to go.
Yeah, we're breezing right
I'm
through.
pumped.
All right, so this one is one of my newest games that I added to my collection, and it's called Astro Knights.
Okay.
I was a big fan of Aeon's End and basically any deck building game in general. And
Hmm.
so when I saw that they were releasing Astro Knights, which I would say is like a sequel to Aeon's End, and basically it's got more of is it a space theme? I
It
feel like
looks
it's
spacey.
space themed.
Yeah.
But basically, you're a knight and you're trying to just defend your home world, basically. And it's
Mm.
a very easy game to pick up, I would say, compared to other games. Um, Most deck building games aren't too hard, I would say, to pick up to play. And this one is solo friendly. It's a co-op game, so if you were to play with people, you're on the same team. You're basically just trying to protect your home world and defeat the villain or the boss with your cards.
So,
So
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to mention that there's like a market of cards in the top right of the image. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
a market, and that's basically how you would acquire some of your cards into your deck. And what's interesting about playing games like Aeon's End or Astro Knights is that when you have to reshuffle, you essentially actually don't reshuffle. Like if your draw deck is empty, you just take the discard pile and you flip it over and make it into your draw deck. And I love that. You don't have to shuffle at all.
Oh. So the order matters when you play the cards, too.
Exactly. Yes, it does matter. Or if you have the choice to put the cards in a certain order, you
Hmm.
could, think that through.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I'm thinking of other games that do that, too. Again, with Astro Knights, you were mentioning it's like the sequel to Aeon's End. Now, the thing is, I never played Aeon's End, and I bought
Oh, okay.
just most recently a lot of Aeon's End.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Okay.
would you recommend tossing all that and going to Astro Knights?
So for me
Yeah.
personally, like setup time is huge. It's like the shorter the better, and the
Hmm.
setup for Astronauts is extremely it's much easier than it is for Aeon's End.
Mm.
Um, but it feels the theme is different enough because Aeon's End is like spells, you're casting spells, and um, it feels different enough to keep both. I have
Keep
both in
both.
my collection. Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
good
don't
to
really
know.
plan on really giving it away, but
Nice.
I
Yeah.
think if you're teaching someone how to play, I would start
Yeah.
off with this one and then go to Aeon's End because I feel like just the setup itself and tracking everything is easier in this game than Aeon's End. And
And this
hopefully I'm
one,
saying that right because I feel like people say Eon's End
I
sometimes.
say Aeon's End. Yeah. Like
Okay.
Aeon, like,
Yeah.
well, right, there's Aeon Flux, and it's spelled the
Uh-huh.
same way as Aeon's End. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't worry. I also pronounce Jif. Fight me.
Jeff,
Yeah.
you're one of those.
Yes, I'm one of those. Mask off. Surprise. The this game though, how recent is it? Because right, it's a 2023
Yeah,
release.
2023. I mean, it was on Kickstarter, or was it game? One of those. I think it was Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Like last year, and then I got it maybe in January, I think.
And
Yeah,
I'm guessing
yeah.
they probably have like mountains of expansions coming out for it already. Like they
I
probably have
hope
stuff
so. I
planned.
don't know. I actually haven't heard about too many expansions for it.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because Aeon's End has a couple as well.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
All right. Astro Knights.
Hmm.
All right. So I'll hold on to my Aeon's End because I'm like
Yeah.
I even bought an insert for it.
Oh, really?
yeah. So because I know there's a lot of because I was just there's just been like tons of deals on Aeon's End stuff recently. So I'm just like, all right,
Makes
let me
sense.
try it
Yeah.
out. So oh look, expansion sale, great.
Well, it's worth
Um,
it, especially since it was on sale. So
yeah, right. So all right, I'm
okay.
excited to hear number 11.
All right. So this one is Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. Um, and it was a 2022 game, so roll and write.
Hmm.
And actually, I haven't had too many roll and writes in this game except Super Mega in this list besides Super Mega Lucky Box. But this is a really fun one. I played this solo and with one other person, and it's just so much fun. It's just like I feel like it's extremely combo heavy, which I like in a roll and write.
Hmm.
But basically, you're trying to fill up all the tracks, as you can see in my game here. I pretty much was finished and when I
Yeah,
took
it looks
this
like you
picture.
dominated with the left hand side. It's just all
Yeah, you're
red.
basically you're trying to just fill up everything you can by the end of the game so that you get as many points as you can as well. So it's kind I think it's a beat your own score. There might be score ranges at the end of the rulebook to see how well you did, but essentially every time I play I just try to beat the score I had before.
Oh yeah, I see on the top right the scoring. It's 56, 59
Yeah.
or less, 60 through 69. Yeah, it's a range kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you're trying to you do a bunch of things here. You're rolling dice and you're assigning those dice to either like defend or attack in your on your sheet. And I'm not familiar with all the terminology for the sheets. I probably should refresh my memory on it.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, on the right hand side you have basically like a map and you're trying to explore all the areas you can. And along the way, you get some bonuses that you could use on the other sheet as well to try to get points by the end of the game.
And is this one this one's not solo only, right? You could play
No,
multiple.
it's 1 to 4 players.
Okay. Cause I think there's right because this is a whole series, Valeria. I think there's one game in there that is a solo only one. Maybe it's Siege of
Is there
Valeria. That sound right?
Siege? There is a Siege one. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's solo only, but I think that is a tower defense game,
Yeah.
and it might be. I'm not too familiar with that one. I think this is the first Valeria game I have in my
Yeah.
collection. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ones that like there's the card based games too.
Yeah, they're all completely
Yeah,
different. They're
yeah,
just
they're all
named the
different.
same series, but they're all
Mhm.
completely different games.
Right, right. So yeah, I
Nice.
think this is the first one, and I really enjoyed it. It plays very quick within 20 minutes when I play
Hmm.
solo, and maybe about 30 minutes with one other player. So, also very easy setup. I mean, what you see here is exactly what you need to set up to play.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Nice.
the sheets aren't laminated. They're actually paper, but in this, I did laminate. I laminate all my roll and write
That's
sheets.
epic. And you have your own dry erase marker, I'm guessing, right? Because that looks like a
Yeah.
nice one. That's
I do, yeah. You kind of see it all the way on the right side of the picture. I have all sorts of colors.
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. So before we enter our top 10,
Yeah.
right? 11 through 20. So I'm noticing, right? Most all of these, if not all of these, have been focused on solo gaming, right?
Hmm.
That's pretty exciting. Trying to narrow down things. There's only two. You said there's only two roll and rights here so far.
So far. Yeah.
Who knows, right? All top 10 just all rolling rights, maybe. No, I'm kidding. But you're
Yeah.
right. I see a lot of like small presence kind of games that you were mentioning before,
Hmm.
with the exception, right, of Dwellings of Eldervale,
Yeah.
right?
Huge exception. Yep.
And then they're all pretty short too, except with Dwellings of Eldervale. Like they were talking like
Yeah.
30, 60 minutes at most.
Yeah, and really that's all I typically have to
Yeah,
play. And I don't like to play games where I have to like pause and then come back to it because I kind of lose my focus. And it's not just it doesn't feel like the best experience for me
yeah,
when I play a game. But yeah, the shorter the better, and also the less space it takes up, the better. Because I record playthrough videos for some of my games I play,
you
and I
do.
don't have the best setup for a large, table to be recorded. So I try to keep things pretty manageable so that I don't, have to edit anything too much in the videos to show certain areas of a board.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where how I try to limit, I guess, my collection, because if I expanded it to any bigger than I currently have it, then I would be spending way too much money.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
The well, we definitely have to drop that in the description. So note
Yeah.
for self, marked in the description, like the different games that, because some of these you put on your channel too. So
Yeah, a good portion of these are on
yeah.
there.
So I will
Yeah.
link to all those.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Cool.
top 10 time.
Top 10.
Here we
All
go.
right, so number 10 is Dice Masters.
Nice.
So I know this is pretty random because it's not solo friendly.
It's not solo friendly at all. You just
This is
threw
a
off
two-player
everything.
game. And interestingly, I only got into this game maybe 2 years ago, maybe 1.5 years ago. And was it you who gave me?
No, that was Destiny.
Oh, Destiny. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that might be coming up. We'll see.
All right.
Well, so Dice Masters is a two-player game, and you basically create a team of eight characters, and they all come with dice, and you can have up to 20 dice on your team, and then you end up using it to roll. And in that picture on the left, you could kind of see what is on the dice. You see symbols, which are energy symbols, and you get to also, not the best picture, but you also see like an attack, a fielding cost, a defense, and all of that that would come into play when you're engaging with your opponent's characters. And you're basically trying to defeat them. And whoever reaches 0 health loses.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I find this game extremely fun. It's very it feels like a chess game almost to me, because like you have your characters, you're rolling your dice, and you're placing them either in the field, or you're utilizing the dice so that they're not in the field, but you're able to buy dice to place them into your in your bag. So
Right.
you're also trying to build your bag with characters, because you don't get them right off the bat.
Right.
You only get certain so they call them sidekicks. So you get like 8 white dice that you get right off the bat, and they only have like one attack and one defense. And over time, you can spend energy to buy those characters that you have in your team and put them in your bag, and you draw them from your bag and roll them.
Yeah,
So lots of fun.
Are you're playing against someone online, right? That's
I do.
Like.
I am. Yeah. So there's like an online Discord server where they play weekly, and this is awesome because like all you need is a webcam, and if you have the game, then you can play.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun, and there's a lot of different sets. It's kind of like a collectible game, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So as new sets come out, you buy a booster box or something like that, and you just have new cards and new dice to play with. And there's like formats, so like there's standard, modern, golden, and all of those have like different sets that you can play with. Which is pretty fun. Yeah. It is a bit of a money suck, but it's not as bad as like Magic the Gathering.
It gets there though, because I remember when this first came out, I actually loved it. I loved it. I had the starter kit. I rushed to like my game store to get it because it was hard to get when it first came out. So I got the starter kit, and then the packs were like 99 cents at the time. I don't know if they still are, but it was literally like $1, and you would get a couple dice and cards. And that's how the model was at the time. And it was the only first set was it was Avengers versus X-Men, and I got to a point where I had everything, every card, like it was of that set. I still have it. I just haven't touched it in a long time. But yeah, I remember playing this one a bunch, and because it had that deck building feel, but with dice, so that's always cool. And then you're right. You have to decide based on your rolls what way you wanna go. And then you're just constantly trying to figure out what's the best way to beat your opponent. So I don't know if I want to revisit this, but at the same time I don't, because here's the thing, I bought everything like I said, and then when the second expansion was coming out, I actually pre-ordered 2 boosters online. It
Mhm.
was like 2 booster cases, like
Right.
cases. And as soon as I was doing that, I was like, what am I doing? You know, I had like this moment of like, what am I doing with this? So I canceled the order.
Buyer's remorse. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I have a complete set. I'm just gonna stay with
Fun.
that, and that's it.
Sure.
And you know, you have the custom mat. I have custom mat too. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay as is, not moving any forward. And then,
Good. I'm glad you have that self-control.
well, with that game, yes, with the one out of many games, yes. But yeah, that was I would be down to try it out again though.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, always happy to play.
but we'll stick with my things, which in the first set, I don't know if that counts which format that would fall under, but
I think that's golden, which
golden.
pretty much anything goes for that. There's like a ban list, I think, but I
Mm,
mean, I'm not too familiar with that. I play casually anyway. I
yeah,
think there are still like maybe some stores here and there that do like organized play events because I
yeah,
mean they're still coming out with new sets and stuff.
right,
Um,
right. And
but
there's a
yeah, overall
DC
people just
set.
play for fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's DC.
I think
Um,
Ninja Turtles had one too, and
there is,
Dungeons
yeah,
and
there's a
Dragons
campaign
had
going.
one.
Yeah.
Didn't wrestlers have one? Wasn't
They
there a
did
wrestling one?
WWE, yeah.
Oh man, that's so weird.
It is weird seeing like actual people on the cards.
Yeah, right. Like here's Macho Man and Nightcrawler together.
Yeah, I mean the most popular one, I think in WWE that I've seen is Becky Lynch.
Okay,
It's just
there
a
you
weird
go.
see her on my team, but
Hey,
yeah, it's definitely a fun time because you could mix all of those cards together, like you were just saying, like you could mix the Ninja Turtles with WWE
right.
and D and stuff, and have a really good team.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Dice Masters.
Yep. All right.
Breaking the mold. What's number
Number
9?
9, we have Imperium. So this would cover legends and classics.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I've played quite a bit this year. And I played probably half of those times solo and half with my husband. And both ways were very fun. Like I would say the solo mode is very, very good. Um, and it feels like the replayability is just very good too because you have all the different decks that you can use to play. Like you don't have to choose the same deck every time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the AI, you can also choose a deck for the AI to play against. And this one is I guess it is a deck builder. You're
Yeah.
buying cards from essentially like a market and adding it to your deck, and it feels very much like an engine building game because you place these cards out kind of like in the tableau, and then they trigger at a certain point in the game, depending on the phase. And then yeah, and somewhat I guess resource management too, because
Yeah.
you're gaining some resources that you get to use to buy cards or to utilize abilities throughout the game.
This game is awesome.
Yes.
I just want you, yeah, I love this game. Like, it is right over there. My
Oh yeah.
backyard. I have classics and legends, and I adore this game. I can't wait for the new one. I think it's coming out this year.
Which one is
Uh,
that again?
Horizons, I think
Yes,
it's called
Horizons.
Imperium
Yeah.
Horizons. But yeah, it's great because you get to play. I just recently played it solo, maybe last month. And it's great. You play as a different civilization, and
Mm.
you're up against another civilization. The solo mode is excellent, like excellent, excellent, excellent. Um, and it's a game that it's a deck builder that has a focused deck for that civilization because as the game goes on, you will upgrade your civilization with a preset deck of upgrade cards in
Mm.
both like a barbaric state and then you end up going to like civilized I think state,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's the central market where you can purchase things. But at the same time, you can still combat each other too, which is pretty neat. Like you give
Hmm.
people like unrest cards and
Yeah.
stuff that block up their deck. It is such a good game. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I feel like the first couple plays are gonna go long.
It was
Um,
very long.
right? It did go long,
It
right?
was like over an hour and a half for me.
Yeah,
Be that
yeah,
long. Yeah.
yeah. And for a deck builder, that's pretty long. Um, so, but the thing is, I find myself really loving the combos, really loving the decision making,
Hmm.
because you don't necessarily, because in deck builders, a lot of my strategy is just trash and just get to like the best cards, right?
Hmm.
But in this, a lot of the times you're not even really trashing. You're taking your cards and you're like some of the trash cards that you do quote unquote trash, you
Hmm.
exile them into your history, right?
Yeah,
And
I
then
love
you could
that
just
concept.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you just score those. So it's like you have a private trash pile where you can score those cards, and
Yeah.
there's different kind of conditions to achieve victory, which
Mhm.
the scoring is all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you use the app for scoring?
No,
So
I didn't know there was an app.
so
Oh, yeah.
someone made an app. It's like a web app
Oh.
where you go to the site and you splay out all the cards and you take a picture and it does the scoring for you. So you splay out all your cards in different like what's in your exile pile, what's in here, what's in there. You take pictures and then it just like detects off of the art what is what and then it just gives you your score.
That's awesome.
It's
Well, yeah, I'm
wild.
gonna have to use it.
Yeah, you should cuz and it's a long enough game. You don't want to spend most of its, I mean, it, it's a lot of scoring conditions that can take like over 5 minutes to score the end of the
Oh
game,
yeah,
which is long for a game.
it is long, and I always like to count it twice just in case. So
Yeah. No, I'm excited, and I remember you were talking about this one on the Discord too, and I'm happy
I
the one
mentioned
you
it.
have has the updated solo rules.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Cause
it does. I
yeah,
guess there was like some lots of changes actually.
yeah,
I saw
there
like a
was
lot of
some changes and um, some of which were like game breaking. Like there was like missing pieces dealing with unrest cards and in
Mhm.
solo mode and yeah, I really want to play this. I really want to show Barros this game because I know he loves Empires of the North, and I
Mhm.
feel like I never played Empires of the North, but I've seen what
Yeah,
it is, and it seems like this game is a contender against that one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, hopefully he enjoys it as much as we do.
Oh, he will.
Do
He will.
you have a
I
preference between Legends or Classics?
I don't
Okay.
because they offer enough variety. So
Mhm.
honestly, like if for like people that want to try this game, just get the cheaper one because they're both the
Mhm.
same game. Like literally, the rulebook is the same for across both.
Okay.
Um,
Is the market deck like noticeably different?
no,
Okay.
not even. A lot of the cards are actually the same. There's
Um,
some cards that are different. So like in my copy, I have everything sleeved, and one half of the game is just one half of the box is just the classics, and the other one is just the legends. And then
mhm.
when I'm ready to play, I just choose one of the sets to play with for
Yeah.
the markets. Because right, you can't combine both. You have to
Yeah.
kind of choose one or the other. Um, and then
Mm.
because you have both, right? Then you have double the resources, and there's tons of those tokens. That's one thing actually I really don't like about that game.
The
The
tokens.
tokens,
Yeah.
like
How,
the iconography sucks on it for the
yeah.
tokens.
I've been using dice to track it in my later
Yeah,
games. It's a little cleaner because otherwise I just had like mountains of like depending on the I guess the civilization you choose, you might have a lot.
yeah, oh yeah. And then not only that, right? The tokens are roughly the same looking thing. It's just
Yes,
that the little there's you can see in
too
your
detailed.
picture
Yeah.
the little dots to indicate like oh this is 10, but it's still and the one on the far right is like oh this is has no dots so it must be a 1. Like I hate that. I hate that so much.
I
But
agree. I wonder. I was looking for like Etsy upgrades for it.
yeah,
Didn't really see anything yet. Might have to check again.
I
But
could see
yeah,
that. Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love this one. I want to play it right now.
All right. So we have this is number 8, right?
Yep.
Number 8, Puzzle Dungeon.
Cool.
So
I've never
this
heard of this one.
never okay. So this is
Never.
a very very fun game. It's a very small compact card game. In on the picture on the right, the top item that's like the box that it comes in.
Hmm.
So it's basically like a deck of cards. and you have to manage your hand so that you can defeat as many monsters as you can and fulfill your winning condition. And depending on like the hero or hunter that you choose to be for that game, there's different win conditions.
Hmm.
I find this game to have extremely high replayability because of those different hunters that you can become. And this is a solitaire game, so it's only one player, but it's lots of fun. And you don't need much space to play either. And I got this off of Etsy, and this person, his name is Brian Garber. He's like a really cool artist. He designed this game himself. And then what was neat is that you could like do an add-on and have him create custom cards for you. And what's pictured here on the left are two cats of mine. So
Oh,
it's Daphne and Subi there. And I told Brian some of the characteristics about my cats, and he basically brought them to life in these cards, and specifically chose the items and the outfits for them.
oh, that's wild.
So I think
Is it?
that's amazing. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, don't entice me like that. Now that's even more reason to buy that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
And
This is a very affordable game.
yeah.
And I would say I don't think this will ever leave my collection. There's just like it has lots of replayability and
It's got
it's
personal value now too.
oh yeah, for sure. Exactly. Yeah. And I think right now there's like a Kickstarter or something for like a starter deck. So like
Mm.
if you just wanted to get like a taste of this game, because there's a ton of cards that you could get for this one. I just got like the one deck. But he has another starter deck I think coming soon on Kickstarter with I think like different artwork, which is also just as great as this. I like this kind of like video gamey look of it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is one of
I'm
my
looking at it right
favorite
now.
dungeon games.
I think it might have ended.
Oh, did it?
I
Oh
think it might have
gosh.
ended.
Well, I'm sure if you miss it, you'll see it on Etsy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always love a good like solo only game, and this is definitely one of those.
Yeah. Puzzle Dungeon. Man. All
Right.
right. I gotta slow down. I do. I mentioned this earlier, privately, but I really want to make an effort to play everyone's top 20 in the Tabletop Express
Yeah,
just
that would be
before
quite a
next year.
feat. Yeah,
So it would be quite a feat. But I think, but you know what? I got Mega Lucky Box down. Got Imperium Classics down. You
right.
know,
Coffee
puzzle. A
roaster.
lot of these are brand new. Dice Masters, I could probably revisit.
Yeah,
Dwellings, I'll try again. Coffee Roaster, I've done already, bunch.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
get
So
there.
not too bad. Our taste is very similar uh,
Yeah,
for some of these. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to number 7. What do you
yeah.
got?
Calico.
All right.
So this one is a pretty, I feel like it's a pretty popular game these days.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a game about cats and quilts and buttons, and basically you're trying to fill up your board, and you can kind of see part of it on the bottom left of it. But basically you have a lot of different patterns and colored quilt hexes, I guess, that you place on your blanket or quilt, and then depending on whether or not you meet the requirements of like those three cats that you see at the top, you get to place cats on them.
Mm-hmm.
So say you need like the rightmost one is 5+, and then those patterns. So if either one of those patterns have 5 that are kind of like adjacent to each other, or I forget what the exact term, like they have to be connected somehow.
Okay.
Um, so you'll be able to get that cat and place it on your quilt.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very puzzly and thinky, and a great solo game, and it's very very relaxing to play. There's even like a web app version of this that someone developed with that, which I also sometimes play on my phone if I'm lazy and I don't want to grab the game off my shelf.
Yeah.
But overall, a very portable game as well. I like that you don't have to I guess what's the terms, it's not a complex game.
It.
It's very easy to play, but like it's thinky.
Oh, I
And
know.
to get the right amount of points, you really have to think everything like through, like every placement matters.
This game broke my brain when I
Yeah.
played it, and I was, I'm granted, like, look at the box and the art, right, and the components. Like,
Yeah,
it looks like it's gonna be very pleasing, and
it is.
it completely broke my brain. Like, it's just like it's pattern tile placement to the next level because you take into consideration the colors as well as the patterns on the tiles
Hmm.
because and then not only that, right, you also have to take into consideration those little bonus hexes that are on the board
The
for
edges, yeah,
placement.
yeah,
And it's just I mean I think it's a very good game,
yeah.
but man, it just explodes my brain this game when I play it because like uh, it's very like critical mass. Like, oh my goodness, if I place this here, then that is gonna happen, then this is gonna happen, then this is, and a lot of times too. I think right, you only have like two or three tiles you can choose from. Is it
Hmm.
only two? I think it's only
I think
two.
it's three, and you
It's
get to
three,
have two in front of you at every time.
right?
Yeah,
And it's just like, whoa, like like you know, I feel
yeah.
like if I was a robot, my head would literally explode. You know?
Yeah, I would say when I first played this game, it felt very overwhelming. Just trying
Yeah.
to, figure out what I was doing to try to get the best, the highest amount of points. I also like the fact that it comes with, I think they call it like scenarios or campaigns,
Mm,
where you have to have the specific cats, and goals to use, and you try to beat or meet the score that it tells you
got
to.
it. That may
Um,
be a reason to retry it then for sure.
yeah.
Because I know, right? This is like, there's three of these games in the trilogy. It's Calico, Cascadia, and
Yes.
Verdant. I haven't played and oh, I played Calico. That's it. But I haven't
Mhm.
done Cascadia at all. I've done Verdant at all.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know
Yeah, I
they
played
played.
all of them.
Yeah,
And Calico will always be my favorite, I think.
nice.
Because I like, cats, so I
All
really
right, cool.
identify with the theme. And then Verdant, um, that was pretty fun. I don't know if I'll keep in my collection, but
Yeah.
if I had, more of a green thumb, maybe.
All right. I
Yeah.
have I think yeah, Barros lent Verdant to me. It's over there. There it is.
Mhm.
Like oh.
It's good. It's,
That's
it's it's also a
yeah.
puzzle like game. So
Cool. All right. Well, that's Calico. Six
yeah.
left.
Yes. So now we have Dinosaur Island, Roar, and Right.
Mm.
So this is a roll and write,
Hmm.
and I love when the name of the games are clever.
Yeah, that's a good pun.
Yeah. And this one, I think there is a game called Dinosaur Island.
Yep.
I've never played it before.
I played it solo.
Oh yeah,
It
I
was
don't know how
awful
similar it is. Oh,
solo.
okay. Well,
Sorry.
good to know.
But this looks completely. This looks much better already. I'll tell you why after. Go ahead. Go
Oh, okay.
ahead.
Yeah. So as you can see in the picture, there's really nice dice. Although I don't know, so I have mixed opinions about the dice because
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to see what you roll because it's a transparent die.
Yeah.
And if you're playing with like, another person and they're rolling dice, you really have to like look at it. Like you can't just like look from afar and know what it is.
Yeah.
But overall, a very fun game. You're rolling dice and then you're placing those, and also you're drafting the dice, I would say. So you draft the dice and then you place them on that board on the left. Like there's this blue mat basically,
Hmm.
that you place your die on, and then you do the action associated with that, where you placed it, and then you mark up your sheets accordingly. And you're trying to create your dinosaur island as well. But yeah, overall, this is a very fun game. Lots of combos as well. When you collect DNA, you get to create like pens of dinosaurs on your
Hmm.
island, and then eventually there's like multiple phases to this game. But essentially, you're creating like a theme park, and you have to try to place the dinosaur pens so that you could connect them and get to the exit or something like that.
Mm.
And then you would maximize your points that way. Um, but yeah, very fun game. I really like this one, and the solo mode is also pretty good too. I think this one has a solo deck, if I remember correctly.
I see there's
Um,
an AI
yeah,
thing on the top right. Is that the solo deck?
yeah, probably yes.
Yeah.
It has been a while since I played. So when I first got this game, I think maybe 2 years ago, I played it like straight, like maybe 5 games straight, and then since then it's kind of been sitting on my shelf. But
Oh
I
man.
I love it. I really do enjoy it.
So I haven't tried this one, but I have tried the original. The original was very track heavy. Like I don't know how much focus there is on tracks in this one. Um, but when
Mhm.
you're playing the game, there's constant tracks for nearly everything, and it
Mhm.
gets very fiddly. And it got to a certain point where uh, the fiddliness like took over the enjoyment of the game for me,
I see.
and
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is
that's
no
unfortunate.
bueno, you know. But Dinosaur Island Roaring right looks a bit more maintainable,
Mhm.
you know. So that alone, I think, is better.
Good. Yeah, I do recommend it.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that it does have a a solo variant is why I got it. So
nice. All
yeah.
right, I'll try this one out at some point.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right, top five.
Yes. So this one is pretty much brand new to me, although I've had it for a long time. It's called Arkham Horror, the card game.
Yes, yes.
And this one, well, I guess no. Going back, I did play this one time,
Hmm.
maybe 2 years ago, but only revisited it like maybe in the past month. Because when I first played it, I for some reason just did not like it. And it
Yeah.
was probably because I haven't played many games yet at that time, and I was still getting used to the different mechanics of a board game. And now I really appreciate it a lot more. And I have a bunch of expansions already for this game, so I'm excited to go through all the different campaigns that this game has to offer, and also the different investigators. So basically, with this game, you're an investigator, and when I play solo, I do play with two investigators, although I've
Yeah.
tried it with one. But yeah, two right now because it just seems the most consistent
Yeah, you
to be
gotta
able
do
to
two.
win.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know in the Discord, everyone was very adamant about having the two investigators. So definitely a good tip for solo play. Um, but yeah, you're basically trying to get, investigate, get clues, attack any of the, are they called monsters?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, monsters.
monsters. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're trying to defeat these monsters and then survive the campaign, basically.
Mhm.
And there's like act cards and agenda cards, so that the agenda is basically what you're trying to. Wait, is that on the left or on the right? I forget. The
Uh,
agenda is the Doom token section,
yeah,
right? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure Agenda is the Doom token once.
Yeah. So basically, at the end of each round, you would place a Doom token on the agenda, and if it
It might be
meets or
Act. No, I don't
exceeds,
know.
could be. I'm getting confused
Yeah, I
myself.
get confused too.
But
The one on
basically,
the
if
left.
if you have too many Doom tokens at the end of the round, that triggers like the next agenda to go on or act to advance, then the game gets a little bit harder to beat. So
Mhm.
it feels like a race most of the time for me to try to get around to all the different locations. Um, and
It's fun.
completing the objectives, but yeah, lots of fun.
Did
And
you? So you've done Night of the Zealot. That's the
yeah,
campaign that comes in the base. And you just started Dunwich.
yeah, I started that one. I think I'm on part two, but then it brought me to another part. But yeah, I won't get into it
Yeah,
because I don't know how
it's
what
so good.
is there
Oh
spoilers,
man, it's
but
so
it's
good.
really good. Yeah.
Dunwich is a great. It honestly like Night of the Zealot is good for teaching the rules,
Mhm.
but because it's only three scenarios, it's like
It's
they
short.
ramp up the difficulty
Yeah.
just to like. And the later cycles are much more gradual. Um, and yeah, I'm very happy that you're that. First of all, I'm very happy this is number five. I love this game. Right, it's right there. This whole cube
Nice.
is just Arkham Horror, the card game stuff.
Wow. Do you have everything at this point?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
I think so.
And
I think I'm
I think
missing
you
one of the
just
latest
came up
one-offs.
Forgotten Age or something like that. Is that one of the
Forgotten Age,
new
I
ones?
have.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
that one. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. The most recent one at this point was Scarlet Keys,
Hmm.
and then I think it's called Machinations of Time. I think is the latest scenario at this point, like one-off scenario. Which the one-off scenarios are pretty cool. So because most of the game are just campaign driven, so you
Right.
play different scenarios, and depending on the outcome, right, you're gonna decide which way to go, but also you get to level up between, which is pretty nice. Um, Whereas the
Yeah.
one-offs,
Oh, yeah.
you start off with a certain number of XP,
Mhm.
and the more XP you take, more you add on some difficulty to the game. I think you take like an additional basic weakness for every like
Oh.
10 XP you take. Um,
Huh. Okay.
and it's great. Like the one-offs are so much fun. The one I most recently played was Murder at the Excelsior Hotel, which is like a I guess kind of murder mystery, but not really. It's just aesthetically really cool. Very story driven,
Mhm.
for sure. Like very pulp kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it's a great time. Like so,
Mhm.
I'm happy you're enjoying it. I hope you continue to enjoy it because man, there's so much of it.
Yeah, yeah. I just ordered like a tracker, the investigator tracker
hmm
that people make on Etsy. So
Oh
very excited to
yeah,
use that.
there's no shortage of bling for this game.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, there's tons of different upgrades that people can do. Um, yeah, and it's just the community is great with doing that as well too.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, it's got to a point just like Dice Masters where certain cards are like removed, like they're on the taboo list and stuff. So you can play with those rules or not, if depending on what you want to do. The game is difficult enough, but
Yeah.
what's cool about it is for sure that chaos bag,
Hmm.
because you know whenever you want to do some action, you need to draw a token from the chaos bag, which could be very good or very bad. Usually pretty bad. It's
Yeah.
usually a negative modifier.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I'm
And
looking forward to trying out different investigators. I just got
mhm,
like the Nathaniel Cho one, which is
yeah,
pictured on the left in the orange sleeves. And that one is very fun so far.
yeah. And then was Rex in the Dunwich one, or was he in the
Yeah,
base?
I think it was on Witch.
Dunwich, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yeah.
And
And
then
I
Dunwich
played
also has
that.
the shortcut card, which you should totally have
Huh,
in your deck if you haven't used it yet.
shortcut. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
have to
I
look
think
for it.
right shortcut's the one that lets you make a free move action, which is
Oh,
crucial.
yeah.
Crucial.
Okay. Is that an asset card or
uh
just an event?
I
Like,
think it's an event card.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I'll have to look. I haven't really customized any of the decks. I just do the starter deck recommendations and just go with it for
Oh
now.
yeah,
Not the best at customizing, but
it's an
I'll
event.
get there. Is
Yeah,
an event?
it's a
Okay.
fast play free
Oh,
event
nice,
where
nice.
you
Okay.
just move to a connecting location.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone is huge because
Yes.
you know you're limited to the number of actions you can do. Um, and yeah, it's just that card is just included in every you know yellow deck that can take it.
Okay. Good to know.
Seeker, that's
Seeker,
the
yes.
faction. Cool.
Yep.
Sorry, go on a whole Arkham horror rant. It's great. All right, the final four.
Yes. Okay. Star Wars Destiny.
There it is. That's the one I sold you.
Yeah. This one was a surprise to me because like I didn't really think about playing this game and I came across it somehow. It was probably likely you when you said you had this stuff and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. It has dice, so why not?
Mhm.
I'm always like a sucker for dice games. And so, you know, I got into it and there's a online community. That's pretty much the only way I play. There's like no one around here that plays. It's not really much of a community right now. It's a discontinued game, so that makes
Right.
sense. But there is like a committee that creates new cards still and prints them out.
Hmm.
And creates the stickers for them too, which I have yet to purchase, but I have a lot of the older cards and dice, and it's been a lot of fun. And if anyone's familiar with like how Ashes Reborn plays, I would say it's very very similar to how that game plays because you have your characters and then you roll dice and then but you don't get to use all the actions that you have all at once. It is really chess like. You do one thing and then your opponent does one thing, then it's back to you and it's back and forth until both people decide to pass and then the turn is completely over at that point. Um, but this is a very fun dice rolling game. Lots of dice mitigation. Um, and very competitive. I just really like this
Yeah.
one. It's a two-player game, not solo friendly. But there are solo options, I think, on TTS. Like people have created a fan variant, I think, for solo. And I've tried that before, but I'm not a huge fan of TTS in general. I much rather play with like physical components. But it's not a bad way to play if I really wanted to play Star Wars Destiny and nobody was online at the time.
I should. Well, so yeah, I sold you my copy. It was one of my coworkers was getting rid of it. So I picked it up. And I only played it with him. And I feel like if I give it another shot, I would still enjoy it. I likely wouldn't hold on to it because, yeah, it's discontinued at this point. But at least I didn't realize there was a whole fan community keeping it alive, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very neat, and they pretty much they take it pretty seriously. The cards and everything is well thought out. There's like points on how to build your team. You build like a 30-point team, and each of those characters have points. And if you wanted to make them elite, meaning like using two dice for your characters, that increases the point value of that character.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? The deck building aspect was one of the most challenging parts for me in this game because there's just so many cards across many sets that like the more experienced players know like the go-to cards to use, and that's not something I'm very good at. So the community that welcomed me into this game were extremely helpful, and I learned so much about deck building specifically for this game, but in general the foundations of deck building I learned from this one. And I would say I'm probably a little bit better than I was like 2 years ago in terms of deck building, so I'm not as nervous getting into like Arkham Horror and building those decks because I'm familiar with it for this game.
Got it. Nice. Cool. Star Wars Destiny lives on. I dig it.
Yes.
All right, 3 more.
Yeah, so number 3 here, Wok and Roll.
All right. So
this was another one that is new to me. It came out in 2020, but I only recently acquired it. And this is a roll and write. And it's got really nice boards, which are dry erase. So that's what's pictured here. This is, I think, the easy side. The other side has like an expert mode, so it's a little bit, more advanced. But basically, you're trying to roll dice and then roll the ingredients you need to mark off the entrees on the menu. And it's pretty neat because this actually is somewhat of a real menu because the Chinese characters actually stand for like real dishes that you might order at a Chinese place.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's a dice rolling game. You try to roll the dice and use it to optimize your score. And if you were to play against another person, the dice it comes with is not pictured here. There's 2 red dice and there's 4 white dice. And then if you're the active player, then you get to use those 2 red dice while the other players get to only use the white dice. So it's definitely a fun one. It's not hard to play. It's a very, very light game. I get to play this game probably in 10 minutes or less because in the solo mode there's only 10 rounds. You roll the dice 10 times basically. And you just try to optimize your score and do the best you can.
Nice. How would you compare this to some other roll and writes? I mean, this is pretty high. Like this is
and it really is so high because it's such a simple game. There's really not much to it. Like versus like Dice Kingdoms of Valeria, like that one's just more complex than Wok and Roll. So I would have to sit down and really play it for a good 30 minutes. But then like Wok and Roll is just like if I have 10 minutes, I could just play it, and it's pretty compact. Like the box itself comes with like an insert that allows you to roll the dice in it with
cool.
So very compact and easy to play. Like I would probably, if I were to travel and go on an airplane, I'd be able to play it with no issues on there.
Oh, you can play on an airplane. Man, that's exciting.
Yep. And I think somebody mentioned on the Discord when I was talking about this game that there's an expansion for this game. So I had to look into that because I really like this game and it's pretty affordable too. So
it's making me hungry.
Yeah. Yes. It would be interesting if it came with like instead of like the generic markers, if it came with like chopstick markers or something.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Who knows? Maybe like the upgraded version has that. I don't know.
Right?
Interesting.
Little fort. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So Wok and Roll, number 3. I have to try that one out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What we got for number 2?
Mm. Number 2, Hoplomachus Remastered.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a
this
new
one,
one.
I was super, super excited for. I played Hoplomachus Origins a while back, and so when I saw that they released this game, I was like, I have to get this. This is a game that is very tactical and combat heavy, I would say. The AI for it, or like the solo mode, is very good. I like to play it solo. I like to take my time with it. So sometimes I have it just set up on my desk, and like during work, if I need like a 2 or 3 minute break, I just take a turn and then come back to it
Yeah,
later. But yeah, it's definitely a fun one. There's great components. You can see in the picture there's like poker-sized chips there.
yeah.
I got the upgraded health chips, which may not be too visible here, but
Are
they're a
those
little
like the
bit
purple ones?
heavier. So yeah, so they're blue and red.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
the
got it.
health chips. Yep. And then I also got the upgraded dice, which are like the alloy metal ones, which are not pictured here, but those are super heavy. And
Oh
I have to
man.
say, I'm not sure I love rolling them because like I was rolling them in my hand like this, and I felt like I was getting bruised up. So
Jeez.
I ended up getting my dice tower to roll them.
Yeah.
Yeah, very fun game. I come from like playing Too Many Bones, which is made by Chip Theory Games,
Mm-hmm.
who also makes this game, and so I knew this is just like a no brainer for me. So I like this game. It's tactical. I am trying to get into more of a tactical um type of game because like I'm not good at those games at all.
Mm.
I'm terrible at tactical type games. Most recently I just got the Ascension deck building miniatures
I got that
game.
too most recently. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm excited to try that because I think it's similar. It's like you place like certain figure down. It's tactical too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to just get better at games like that, and so this game has been helpful in that.
Yeah, I've seen this one. This is brand new. That right? It's the remastered version.
Hmm.
Hoplomachus, and
Yeah.
this game, yeah, I definitely want to give it a shot. And it's so funny. Like you were just mentioning Too Many Bones. Like that's just like I've set that game up maybe like 3 times already. I just haven't mustered the courage to jump through it because man, like I feel like it's an endeavor, you know?
It is, yeah. So you mean you actually set up the game but never got to play?
Yeah, I was just like, I don't have time for this, you know?
I would say the hardest part about these games are the keywords and knowing what they mean because there are so many.
Hmm.
And when you're in the game, like they don't just play with 3 of the keywords. You play with basically all of them,
Mm.
and they might just pop up when like a minion pops up on the board. So I would say like knowing how all of those keywords interact with each other too is also
Hmm.
another challenge for me. Like I have so many questions, and there's like a Discord server where I just ask these questions, and they're pretty quick at getting back to me, which
Oh,
is which
cool.
is good. Yeah.
And you do this primarily solo?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Primarily solo. So I played probably 5 times solo
Yeah.
so far, and I lose pretty quick, but that's probably why I got so many games in.
Yeah.
But it's a fun one. I like it.
Nice. Cool. Man, I should try this one out at some point.
Yeah. And then I should mention the
Yeah.
the other side of that playmat, sorry,
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
there's multiple modes in remastered. And
Hmm.
that's what I really like about it. It's like the replayability, it's always a big factor for me when I buy games that, are over $100. Um and so there's this one is set up for the onslaught mode that's pictured. And then on the other side, I think you would play the ascension mode.
Mm.
And then there's like maybe 1 or 2 other modes besides that, and it's very variable. You could play 1 to 4 players depending on the mode you choose. So definitely like that factor.
Nice. Cool. All right. We got one final one. This has been fun.
Yes.
All right. So nothing else matters. This is number 1. What we got?
All right, so we have Dice Throne.
Nice.
So this is a huge one for me. I play this solo or with a few other people. Pictured, you see me playing on the webcam, and that's probably the way I've played it the most. I have probably over 250 plays of this game.
Oh my goodness.
I have season 1, season 2, Dice Throne Adventures, and then I borrowed my sister's Marvel Dice Throne, so I have
Nice.
that, and then also the Santa versus Krampus. So everything I can get my hands on, I've tried to. Lots of fun rolling dice. It's Yahtzee style basically. So if you're not a fan of Yahtzee, you may not like this game. But I like this one. You don't have to worry about building a deck. It comes with a deck. You don't have to worry about like how to optimize your deck. You just play with the deck that it comes with, and then you roll the dice, and the custom dice are nice. And you're basically trying to dwindle down your opponent's health using your cards, upgrading your abilities. And all the abilities are really unique to like the characters themselves and really on theme, especially like the Christmas with eggnog. You get eggnog tokens in there.
Yeah.
It's very fun, and it's just like endless fun for me, honestly. And there's people online always willing to play on webcam, and it's very easy to play on webcam. It doesn't take up too much space. You just have your player board, your deck, and your dice. So very easy to manage on webcam, or even just playing like audio, because at the end of the day, you're just really listening for like how much are you attacking me for and how much can I defend for, type of thing.
Got it.
But yeah, I've played this game all the time, and I'm currently in the Dice Throne Adventures campaign with my my sisters and friends. So
it's like a co-op thing.
It is. So Dice Throne Adventures, you're basically going through like a dungeon, I guess. It's like a portal crawl. Okay. And then there's also boss battles, and you're trying to win. You're trying to go through the entire campaign, and we're almost done, I hope. It's been over a year of us trying to get together and complete it because we like to do it in person. But it's neat because you get to upgrade your deck, which is something you don't normally do in a game of like 1v1 Dice Throne. So there's like cool cards that you could upgrade with new abilities that make your deck stronger against the scenarios and bosses that you might come across throughout the campaign.
Man, Dice Throne.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend like someone first time coming into this? Like, should they go with because there's multiple boxes of this one.
To
should they just go for their favorites, or should they go for what's more?
Yeah, so there's definitely a complexity to it. So each of the heroes that you choose or characters that you choose have a complexity value. So I would probably stick to that. I started off with Gunslinger, and I love using Gunslinger. I think it was more on the lower side of the complexity, and I think the more complex ones just have more tokens and different abilities that maybe a little bit more confusing to use than the easier character. So Gunslinger is a safe bet to start with. I think even like the rule book has Gunslinger as like the typical example to follow. So I think I would recommend if you're new to it, start off with Gunslinger. If you're starting off with Marvel Dice Throne, I liked Captain Marvel as a starting point. I don't think she is in the starter boxes that you find in stores. You might have to actually get the full Marvel Dice Throne box to get her, but she's a safe bet, I would say.
Which has been your favorite character?
My favorite, I would say it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, I mean, her abilities are hit and miss, though. Like, it's pretty luck-driven, I think. But I do enjoy her abilities and cards over all the other ones. Like, I always go back to playing with her over everybody else. For like, if I were to just pick it up and play after work, it's just easy. I don't have to think too much. It's not too complex.
Nice. I should give this one another shot. I've only played I've played it as the barbarian character.
Oh, that one's fun too.
I think I've
played very aggressive
once or twice. It might I used to play it once. Might have been twice. I should give this one another shot though.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, your experience might change depending on, the characters you choose or who you play it against. Because I think there are definitely characters that do well over other certain characters. So depends. And also the co-op, Dice Throne Adventures also changes things too.
Right.
Yeah, I like the Dice Throne system. So anything that they come out with, I'm always willing to give it a try.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was your top 20. Look at that. We did it.
Yep. And I wish I could play all these games every single day. Like some of these top 20 games I haven't played in months or maybe even a year. But like I get so excited watching gameplay videos or when someone posts a picture on my Facebook group playing the game. I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
need to get that out again.
Yeah, it gets to that point. I mean, there's so many games out there, and
Mhm.
even if it's not in your top 20, there's so many out there, so many behind you. There's so many, like that's just the board game world we're in.
Agreed. Yeah,
But
it's interesting because like I got into TCGs at some point
yeah,
and like I was like, oh, I got this really nice card. There's, I look at TCG player, look at the value, and like I'm gonna hold on to this. But like board games, I find myself like selling them or trading them because I'm like, I need to try new games and kind of learn different mechanics, see what's
yeah.
out there. Like I'm more excited about trading board games than I am with like the TCGs that
Oh
I've
yeah, I get that
played.
for sure. Yeah, because everything's all contained, you know? It's just
Yeah.
nice and, just take it off the shelf and just have it all ready to go, you know?
Mm-hmm. Of
But I do want to thank you for this. This has been awesome.
course.
I'm very happy to hear about your top 20. We have a couple more top 20 videos that we're doing all this month of March. So depending on when this drops, I know for fact Brian Chandler's video would be done, and possibly Chris Barros's video will be done before this drops.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you guys could see what was on those lists as well too. The full list is available too on our Discord. So if you ever want to join our Discord, we have a link to it in our description, where you could also just go on there and talk board games and get excited about what games you should be playing next.
Exactly.
I definitely want to play a bunch of these now too. So,
Yeah.
but this has been awesome. Danielle, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ryan. It was
Yeah,
great talking to you about every single one of these. I know you're a fellow solo board gamer,
I
so
am. I
yeah.
am. Yes, that's how we got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're solo gaming because you gotta. I was a. Yeah, I'm setting up GI Joe behind me right now. The
Oh,
deck
nice.
building
Another
game.
good one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, all
Awesome.
right.
All right,
Goodbye,
thank
everyone.
you.
I
Bye.
will see you later.